Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and this is going to be a little bit of a different video, but I want to tell you about a problem that we have at Spring Creek. I had some videos, and obviously you didn't see it because it didn't come out the way I wanted to, and I actually just got off the phone with the pastor at Spring Creek. But the situation is, and maybe I can pull back some video of what I have from the church, but their main sanctuary is separated from the other building where they have their baptismal area. And they have a baptism coming up Sunday, and the thought was we were going to go there and run two SDI cables in between the buildings. One is going to go in and was going to feed a distribution matrix that fed all the TVs in that building. But then another cable was going to run back for the camera that we have on this rolling tripod that's going to be in the sanctuary. So the idea is, if this was in the sanctuary, this could be connected, roll in, you know, do whatever inside the sanctuary, but this can roll to the other building, plug into the jack that's on the wall, and then this one would be able to be a feed all the way back to the sanctuary. And then we were also going to have an Ethernet cable in there, because I didn't, at the time, did not see any type of connection on that side of the building. But two things. Their main building is like a canvas type of structure. So it's cutting a hole is like you're cutting a hole into a tent. Yes, you could seal it, but no one was really a fan of doing that. I thought the fact that since it's electrical, it's everything there had to be something already connected to there, which it is. But they have kind of like a conduit that's up under the concrete, under the floor, under the ground, connecting all the buildings. And the pull string that people have there ain't helping. Plus, no one knows where that cable is going to. So we couldn't pull that way, couldn't punch through the top, didn't want to put any holes in there. And we're like, how can we get this working? So after playing and trying to figure this stuff out, I am gonna leverage the ATEM Streaming Bridge, but can't get him here in time. So we're gonna be pushing Aaron, and I've featured him before, referenced him. He showed a tutorial, and I'll have a link in the description, on how you can build a Raspberry Pi to do the same thing as a streaming bridge. And I just happen to have two Raspberry Pis just sitting here in my desk that I was not using, and I have my streaming bridge. So I want to show you, I'm going to reference this video, so I'm not going to walk through how that all works, but I'm going to tell you and explain to you how this is going to work. Alright, so what we're going to do, I feel like this is MacGyver how we're putting this up. So we're going to have a camera here that's going to be in the other building. We were able to get access to their router and all this other stuff. So I'm gonna have to make some changes to the network, but I was able to log in and get to that. So once I have everything, we'll be able to do that. We're gonna use two Raspberry Pis. We're going to, in the baptismal area, we're gonna have a shotgun mic on a camcorder here, or maybe a Rode Wireless set away from the baptismal, but we'll pick up Pastor Cooper and anybody there in the baptismal area. It's going to send everything through this into maybe another ATEM Mini Pro would be the easiest way, but it's probably going to go into my laptop, and it's going to capture the video and audio. That ATEM Mini Pro is going to live stream to the Raspberry Pi in the sanctuary that is connected to the input of the ATEM Mini Extreme. That will just show up as another input. Now, the audio is coming there as well, and everybody on the live stream can hear it, but no one that's in the sanctuary can. So, in between the HDMI coming out of the Raspberry Pi, please reference Aaron's video so you understand what I'm talking about. The HDMI out from the Raspberry Pi is plugged into the ATEM. That's how video and audio is coming in. But we're gonna put a audio extractor in between. So the HDMI out from the Raspberry Pi is going into an HDMI audio extractor, which will have another HDMI out, which goes into the ATEM, but it will give us RCA out, so that in the sanctuary, the RCA out is just gonna go into the mixer, just like anything else, so the house can hear, as well as that audio is still, the mixer is connected to the ATEM. So instead of the audio coming through channel number 7 on the ATEM, it's just gonna go back to the mixer, through the mixer into mic jack number 1, which is set to line. So all the audio is going the same path. We don't, even in this scenario, we don't want it to be like, oh, turn the audio on here, this is this. We filter everything to the mixer. That's how we can get audio and video from the baptismal in, just leveraging the network that's built into the church without being destructive and running cables and going up under the floor and cutting holes in canvas and all this other stuff. That solves that part. But how do we get everything to show in the other building? So we have another Raspberry that's going to be in the building connected to the TV, working the exact same way, and there's still, the ATEM Mini Extreme is connected to a computer, which I actually am donating my other system here. That used to be the Hackintosh, that we got another graphics card on there, and this is nothing but a glorified OBS streaming machine. It's a Ryzen 5 1600 in here. I think so. No. It is a Ryzen 5 1600, just like I normally use in my streaming PCs. That's going to go there, and the ATEM is going to be connected to that in their sanctuary, and that's going to handle the streaming. That's OBS over USB, and it's going to stream the same way they've already been doing. But the ATEM Mini Extreme is now going to be streaming to the other Raspberry Pi in the other building. That's how everything is going to show up on the TVs. Now, we're going to have to dial this in to make sure that there's a wired connection. I wouldn't dare try and do this over Wi-Fi, but that's the overarching how it's going to work. Now, I have this set up here in my apartment, and I have an ATEM Mini Pro right here. So let me go ahead and get this all set up, and we will mimic exactly how this is going to work. So give me a second, we'll set this up, and I'll walk you through how it's all going to work. All right, so we have this Sony Handycam right here, bringing in video and audio, connected to an ATEM Mini Pro. We're going to turn on audio, so audio and video is coming through. We're connected to the network over this green cable, which is going up under there, and then over to my switch and network over here. Now, just to do a comparison, we are connected over an actual streaming bridge right now, which is going to the TV. Now, my other setup here, we have another Raspberry Pi over the network. This HDMI is going into our audio extractor. That's where the HDMI in is coming here. Then we have an HDMI out, which is going into input number 7 on the Extreme, where you can see there is the Raspberry Pi code right there that is coming from here. And we know that's lost because if I unplug this, there's the image going away. And I'm gonna have to restart it because of me unplugging it. Oh, never mind, there it goes. Took a second. All right, now we have the audio split coming out into input number 4 of my Rodecaster. That's where that is coming from. So if we follow that, that is looping here, and that's the cable where this is going. So just making sure y'all see. Looping around another time. and that's coming into here. It's number 4. As you can see, I have everything else muted, and that's what's coming in, and then that's when we're coming out into the ATEM right there. So that is where our mic in. So the only audio that is coming in right now, since everything else is muted, is going to be input number 4, which is coming from this, which is coming from the Raspberry Pi, which is coming from this ATEM and that camera. All right, that's number 1. Now, number 2 is the ATEM. If I come over here to the software, we already made a streaming streaming XML to point to everything, but we're going to come in here and we're going to point to the streaming bridge. That is where this is going to stream from. So let's change that to high. And just to prove the point, let me turn this camera on. And we're going to go to front camera, which is me right there. So we can start streaming right now. And there we go. So that is going to the streaming bridge, and that's where that's going. All right. And you can hear we got some noise. If I mute this, we're still getting some type of audio. Don't necessarily know where that's from. Let me turn that off here. All right, so yeah, something is coming from here, but we have to tweak that. I think it's probably because I have this too high or something, but I don't know. So we're gonna test this out and play around with this. All right, so we got this part done. We're streaming to this right now, and then input 7 is the Raspberry Pi. So if I open up my OBS over here, which is connected over USB, now we can see what is coming through. So if I switch back, you see that's where it's showing here. So you can see that this is what's going on right now. All right, so let's make this, let's take this full screen so we can see that this is ultimately should be exactly what's coming through. This is coming directly from the ATEM here. All right, so now, whew, this seems complicated. All right, so we got some type of low noise somewhere. So let's just crank that down just a little bit. All right, so now let's go over here and now let's connect to the ATEM Mini Pro. And I need to, as you can see, it's picking up audio from the camera. All right, so it's picking that up. So there's no other audio. This is the only audio that's coming in. All right, so what we're gonna do is load the streaming settings for the Raspberry Pi that I made, which is Raspberry Pi number 1. And now we have, oh, it actually loaded up both. Oh, because it's from the, I'm using the same software. Duh, AJ. All right, so that's number 1. All right, so let's set this, yeah, let's keep it at high. So now let's start streaming, which is gonna be going to this. And boom, there you go. There is what I am streaming from. That's what's coming in. All right. So now let's look at our audio. And actually, I'm messing up. Let's go back to the Extreme. And we should be getting audio from, what am I missing? We have audio coming in here, coming through here. Oh, because AJ, you're muted. That would be the reason why. And we should be able to hear because the audio is going through to here. Now you hear that? Testing. All right. Now we're getting some feedback just because I have all these mics so close to each other. But again, this is what will be, I mean, this would be separated by buildings instead of it in here in my apartment. Everything is separated by, I don't know, 10 feet from each other. But we unmuted this again. So, testing. All right, so it's really low. But let's see. One more here. Testing 1, 2, 3. See, that just shows you the delay. Let me get back over here again. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, so it is a delay, but again, everybody in the sanctuary, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So that's really cool. Let me mute this. All right, now that is with the actual streaming bridge with only one Raspberry in the place. So now let's do this. Let's stop streaming to that one. All right, so our image has gone away. I'm gonna unplug that and we're gonna connect this to the other Raspberry Pi that I have here. All right, give it a second here. Yeah, actually, let's just restart it. All right, so it's starting up. I'm gonna find our IP address on here. Where is it at? It shouldn't change because of my network, but we're gonna have to change this once we get to Spring Creek. Waiting for it to start. All right, and that's 179. So that should be number 2 on my list here. All right, so now everything is set up, and just to show you, nothing is connected, but let's go ahead and unplug this. There's nothing going to that. It's nothing but that Raspberry Pi and that one. And we're still streaming from the other one, so if we connect back to that, you can see we're still on air. All right, let's go back to the Extreme. We're on Raspberry Pi number 2. Let's put in a dummy streaming key there, and then let's go on air. And there we go. So let's do the test again. And let me unmute this, turn it up just. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. So, in theory, this should work. But I think now I got an echo here. But I'm thinking that's kind of cool. Let me know what y'all think. I understand that this is some MacGyver duct tape type of thing, but that's the whole beauty of this. I think it's awesome from a media ministry standpoint. It allows you to be creative and how to figure out how this can possibly work when you have limitations and you have to work within the confines of everything. Now, the awesome thing is the Streaming Bridge is $249. You can get a Raspberry Pi from Best Buy or even Target for like $35 to $60. So you can get 2 of them and it's still less. It's half the price of a Streaming Bridge. You get the Streaming Bridge, 2 of them, that would have been $500 compared to, I can just make these. They were very simple steps to follow. It's not very technical. Aaron has a great video explaining everything. I sat and followed it, set one up, did the same thing again. Boom, everything is working good. The only thing I need to do is once I have this plugged into their network, I need to find out what the IP address is, change the streaming XML for the when they're both placed there. So, and since I have access to the router, I'm a hard set IP address so they do not change, and we'll name one baptism and then TV or something like that. So hopefully, let me know if y'all have any questions. I think this is really cool, and this is a lot different than some of the stuff I would do, but this just shows you how creative you actually can be and just how much stuff you could do no matter what with this. And again, these Raspberry Pis, you can set it up on a DMZ and have it, you know, you would want to make it more secure, but this is inside the building, so I'm not going to have everybody being able to access. I'm going to put a key on mine as well too, so it's going to be hard-coded just to the device. But I think that's really cool and give you some other options there. But let me know if you thought that was cool. Have you tried something like that? If you have tried the Streaming Bridge type of Raspberry Pi project, let me know down below. And if you got any other ideas of how to test this stuff out or any other scenarios, let me know as well too. We got some other stuff planned about having a solar-powered ATEM Mini as well as a streaming solution, a mobile one that's all solar-powered. So that's a project that we're working on. So I'm excited about sharing that one with y'all. But anyway, if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Again, link is in the description to everything on Aaron's channel on how to set this up. Thank you so much, Aaron. Great tutorial, great everything. Really appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel too. Link to that as well. Anyway, this is AJ, folks. We will catch y'all in the next video later.